Thanks, Riaz. Good morning. It is 6:30. Enbridge still faces plenty of obstacles in building the controversial Northern Gateway pipeline, but Ottawa is not one of them. The feds have signed off on the $7 billion project with more than 200 conditions. The Prime Minister and his cabinet accepted the recommendation of the National Energy Board's Joint Review Panel. Enbridge wants to build the fuel pipeline from Alberta to Kitimat, with tankers delivering the oil to Asia. BC's Environment Minister says the project has so far only met one condition, passing the federal environmental review process. 4 other conditions have yet to be met.
Where we can engage, we will engage. We actually encourage dialogue with everybody who has either supports or opposes the project.
British Columbia has made a strong and consistent stand on the Northern Gateway pipeline. Our position is no. We submitted our position to the Joint Review Panel. That position was no.
Just hours after the decision, pipeline opponents rallied in downtown Vancouver. Greg Harper joins us live from English Bay with more on that. Greg?
Good morning, Jody. There are those that are for the Northern Gateway pipeline that say it would be a major boost to the economy, it would create new jobs, but there are many who are against it, and at least 300 or so rallied in downtown Vancouver yesterday, and they certainly made their voices heard. This was an extremely large rally that actually shut down some streets for some time. And those in attendance had some tough talk for Enbridge and the federal government, vowing to stop construction even before it starts. First Nations are going ahead with some lawsuits, while environmentalists are trying to force a referendum.
Okay, well, there's obviously 2 sides to every story, but I would say environmentally, I'm a big environmentalist, and I think for that reason alone, it definitely shouldn't go through.
I definitely don't think it should go ahead. I think it's going to ruin our land. I think that we live in British Columbia for a reason. It's beautiful, and we're going to destroy that. And then it's not going to end up being beautiful British Columbia anymore.
If Enbridge is able to go through with its plan, it expects to begin construction in the second half of next year. If that happens, the pipeline could be in operation sometime in 2018. Jody?
All right, thanks very much. Greg Harper reporting live for us this morning from English Bay. Thanks, Greg. Public schools across BC remain closed today as the full-scale teachers' strike enters its second day. Children played on school grounds as teachers walked the picket lines. Teachers say class size and composition still needs to be addressed. Both the union and the employer went back to the bargaining table yesterday afternoon after arguing their cases in the media. Despite the gap in their positions, the government believes the school year can still be salvaged.
We are indeed closer on wages. But when you look at all of the other elements, some of which have not been costed by BCTF, and you look at the impact on the overall settlement, there is still a significant gap that needs to be dealt with at the negotiating table.
I don't want things to drag on. We all want to be back at work with our students. We want things to be settled. We want a fair and generous settlement from the government. And we want the government to show that they really support public education and they support our students.
Provincial exams are going ahead despite the strike. The Education Ministry says grade 12 students will get their official transcripts by the end of July as per normal. Administrators will mark grade 10 and 11 provincial exams. Parents should expect delays in receiving information about their final course grades. Work on the Evergreen Line is expected to continue today after another construction snag in Coquitlam. A piece of equipment failed yesterday afternoon on a section above North Road. The Ministry of Transportation says a truss slipped out of place. No one was injured, thankfully, but traffic in the area was rerouted for several hours while the equipment was repositioned. It's the second problem with Evergreen Line construction this year. In March, a 300-ton concrete support slab shifted. State of emergency is underway in southern Ontario after the community of Angus was hit by a tornado.
Where are the boys? Get the boys in the basement. Stay by the basement door.
That's a tornado.
Up to 100 homes have been damaged, but no one has been seriously hurt. Some people have been treated for minor injuries as roofs and walls were blown off nearby houses. Winds topped 175 kilometers per hour and thousands of people have been left without power. This is the same storm system that left 2 dead in Nebraska. 4 people have been hurt after they were struck by lightning at a golf course north of Toronto. One man had to be brought back to life by another golfer who happened to be an ICU nurse. The man is in hospital with several burns, including an exit wound at his right ankle. The group was warned to get off the course shortly before the bolt came down.
He was dead. Absolutely. He was vital signs absent. If nobody had performed CPR on him, if he didn't get early defibrillation or CPR, he would not be here today.
6:35, let's lighten things up significantly with a look at your sports this morning. Over to the Connected Studios we go. Here's James Cebulski.